You're going to put his face up there. Just do the anybody want a peanut line.
Does he actually say that?
Yeah.
What? I can't do the... Can I do the stuff about him pooping in a tub?
That's from The Princess Bride. It's the famous...
I've never seen Princess Bride.
Are you kidding?
No.
You're missing out.
Oh, I'm not.
I'll let you borrow it.
Do you have it on DVD?
Yeah, it's a
great
date.
Can I borrow it before I leave?
Lady, yeah.
Okay. So you want me to say something about peanuts?
Anybody want a peanut?
I can't make reference to the fact that he craps in bathtubs.
It's the famous lines, what people would be looking for if you're going to do an Andre line.
I think in the wrestling community that more people will be looking for the stories about him crapping in a bathtub.
We're not a wrestling podcast. We're in everything.
Or whatever. Andre wanted... What is it? What is it?
Anybody
see?
want a peanut?
Anybody want a peanut? I have to take a crap. Where's the bathtub?
It's the PC Pop Culture News Show! Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PC Pop Culture News Show. I am Peter, at Comics Pete on Twitter, former pro wrestling guy, current comic book drawing guy, and all around other ways to entertain guy.
I am Chad, Optimus Chad, 518 at Twitter, and I can ride a tricycle, so there's
Not
that.
too bad. Fun fact, though, he did need training wheels before he actually got skilled at it.
That's right.
They made for five
yeah.
wheels. We said we're going to talk about San Diego Comic-Con this week. Let me give you a brief synopsis on what that is if you are not into that scene, although really that's kind of every scene now. It's not a comic book thing anymore. Yay or nay to that. So Comic-Con's traditionally a bunch of sweaty dudes getting together in an old bingo hall and selling cards and collectibles and comic books. It has gotten far away from that. The Comic-Con name has become synonymous with the grandeur that kind of is San Diego Comic-Con. It is a big thing for cosplay now, which is people dressing up in costumes of their favorite characters, sometimes original characters, things like that. If you're a cosplayer and you're into that scene, definitely go to catatomicstudios.com, atomic like the bomb, studios.com, and check out the cosplay shirt section I got. Some stuff I put a lot of thought into, and a couple new ones rolling out soon. Please check that out, cosplayers. Plug. So you get your cosplayers, you get your celebrities, and the big city cons, being like San Diego, New York City, have become very movie heavy. So San Diego, actually, a lot of the news is toys that I dug up, and tons of movie news, tons and tons of trailers dropped. I'm not even going to get over onto all those because that's a different subculture. I'll just tickle it a little bit. So your convention scene, you've got your big two. That's San Diego, that's New York. A lot of people hear that. They hear Comic-Con, they think, that's what is coming around here. Not necessarily true. In fact, San Diego has tried to get the rights to the name Comic-Con. Kind of can't. It's a thing. It's a word people use. So there's legal battles back and forth, but a comic convention is something that you might find near you. There's different levels. There's still like the flea market type that are a little bit smelly, but you get your good finds. And they're the really dedicated hardcore fans. Then you've got your bigger version of that. We'll call them a small city con, which has got your celebrities, not celebrities necessarily, but your comic book creators, comic books, things like that, some toys, different vendors, and a little bit of spectacle to them. There might be some movie props, things like that, which is really cool. And that's something you'll probably find near you for a lower ticket price. Definitely worth checking out. The next step up is going to be a big city con of a lower tier. You got two tiers of big city cons, we'll say. Big city con is going to be Boston and Chicago, things like that, where you have a good amount of celebrities. You have a lot of creators who have really done solid bodies of work, a lot of independent creators in an artist alley, things like that. You'll get a look at toys and a lot more pop culture items. And then your big two is New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con. San Diego just happened. New York's coming up in the fall. And those are where studios drop their movie premieres. They announce the big announcement for shows. You have a glutton of celebrities, not just there to do photo ops and autographs, but there as guests, as attendees, just there to promote things on the panels. Panels where you go and you sit, you watch them talk. They'll do premieres, things like that. So definitely check it out, look it up. At the end of the show, I have a couple of comic conventions coming up on the East Coast I will drop for you if you're interested in attending something with all the San Diego buzz in your head. But keep in mind, not the same Hollywood presence. So into that. On to comic book news. Announced the Visionaries is going to be part of the closed universe or open universe along with Transformers, G.I. Joe, and them. So not a Visionaries movie, but Visionaries is getting a comic book, and it is going to be from IDW Press. That is going to be involved with that universe there. Spawn, Todd McFarlane, just reinforcing something I've talked about in the past. He's at issue about 276 right now. He said he's never going to do renumbering. Him and Robert Kirkman of Walking Dead fame, not interested in renumbering. And Todd McFarlane bringing up the great point of why would I throw away the legacy of 25 years worth of work to get to issue 276? I busted my butt for all that time, staying with this character, making it happen. Why would you relaunch with a new #1 issue for a quick buck? You know, miniseries, things like that, fine. But bless him and his legacy numbering. Any new digital pickups you've checked out?
No, not really. Nothing new on the Marvel front that's really caught my eye. I scan it every so often. Just getting caught up on the Secret Empire.
The DC has done their little Watchmen tie-in thing. Got that permeating the universe. No big splash yet. But, and if we did, we're not going to spoil. But there is a cool Batman crossover coming up from Snyder and Capullo, who did the Batman relaunch, which was highly regarded. And it is Batman Metal, their Batman finds Nth Metal, which is what makes Hawkman fly. And, well, not Batman finds it, but it's based around that. So a bunch of Batman characters, Nth Metal, apparently flying, cool-looking armor, cool-looking artwork. It's going to be a series worth checking out. I was planning on waiting for the trade for that, but there's a lot of cool-looking variant covers, so I'm probably going to end up picking up a bunch of floppy copies. Roger?
Floppy.
Television. We hinted at people being upset about female things, and we were going to talk about Doctor Who. We didn't. There's a lot of people achy about a female Doctor Who. What have you heard on the road, on the vibes?
In person, nothing, which I've talked about on Twitter and Facebook, is that in person I haven't heard anything. I haven't even seen anything on my Facebook or Twitter, so that means that the people I'm with are totally cool or don't give, a poop about it. But I don't really care about that. I mean, I stopped watching after the first season of the newer series, and then I started watching like the Matt Smith series, and then that ended, and I was kind of like, meh, I'm okay without it. I was more upset that the Doctor was an old man, because it was just like, I don't get where you're going here, but who cares?
I hate old men. He was a good Doctor Who fan, though. Made for a good performer to take it, but definitely, I think it's cool in some regards. There's a little bit of ship jumping, like, hey, let's use the female characters because it's working for some companies, which is great in a way, but also the motive just being, hey, it's dollar driven, ladies is hot right now, let's make all things ladies. I don't like that part of it, but I do hope people support these things enough that it just becomes mainstay and mainstream, and it doesn't become a big deal anymore. I think it's great. I think there was a good fanship of female fans that got into the Doctor Who resurgence. I remember when I was in school watching Tom Baker, I don't remember any girls coming up and saying, oh yeah, I totally watched Doctor Who. Didn't happen. So with a few handsome, charismatic doctors, we had a lot of female fans, and now we have a female doctor to empower those fans. You could be a time-traveling shapeshifter, Time Lord, and you can look like anything, I'm pretty sure. There's no rule.
Is the companion still going to be a female?
I believe they might be going with a dude. Actually,
Okay.
I didn't look into that. Sorry about that.
See, that's kind of weird. A little departure, I guess.
It is.
I guess that would be stranger for me because it always picks female companions.
Usually female companions.
So now it does seem like it's kind of a very thin reason as to why they're doing it. But whatever, I won't watch regardless, so I don't care.
Well put. All right. Some cartoon stuff. Bob's Burgers has announced that they're going to be doing a fan-drawn episode, which a lot of places are playing with different animation styles. Ninja Turtles has been running shorts with totally different animated stylings and story types and different interpretations of the characters. So Bob Burgers, fan-drawn episode, something to look forward to. No idea what that's going to look like, but I'm sure it's going to be fun. Big Hero 6 has an animated series coming out. It's going to be in that flat style, the way they've been continuing a lot of the digital movies, the 3D digital type movies, into a flat style cartoon. You don't like the flat style, or you don't?
I don't like Big Hero 6. I think it was one of the absolute worst Disney movies I've ever seen in my entire life. I regret the fact that it lives in my iTunes library. It was terrible. It was overkill, pun intended.
I agree, and I actually got to make the meme with maybe the Disney Studios castle logo saying, "You see this? You know the parents are going to die." And if they really step it up, the parents start right off dead.
Yeah, and that's not all, kids. That's not all.
We're going to kill everything you love. It's like Game of Thrones, but animated. Speaking of which, Game of Thrones off to a great start. The books, or the movie, the show, is caught up to the books. So now everything you see on your Facebook shares, that's speculation. Truly is speculation. But I don't read them because I don't want my mind influenced. I'll wait. The series wraps up. I'll go back and I'll check out fan theories and see what tied in, what details I might have missed at that point, because I want to watch it raw. Do you investigate into any of that stuff?
No, I don't care what people write. I don't like fan fiction. I don't like fan theories. I did read the Zootopia one a couple years ago, and that was pretty. Someone was pretty screwed up. And you do figure out that there's no fish, there's no birds. So what's going on there, Disney?
Are they underwater at any point for the fishes? But I'll have to investigate that one. Another drop there, and I don't even understand this one. Stargate Origins. Amazing that property can continue going. And apparently it's going to be on some kind of Stargate channel, so I don't know what format that's going to be in. I mean, I know I've got a Hulu, and there's different things like Pluto that host whatever channel you want to stick on there. Maybe it'll be something like that. I have no idea, but the Stargate franchise is going to carry on, folks. It's going to carry on. Another animated show. Rick and Morty's starting up, which we discussed last week. Chad is late to the boat, but he is on the boat.
Hey, I was not late to the boat. I finished the whole thing in 2 days.
He swam really fast to get
I did, and then I just figured out that the first episode of the new season that I've been telling people I watched on my Facebook page was actually a April Fool's episode that they're just lumping into season 3. So
I still have not seen, but I'm going to get around to it, by golly.
It's pretty good.
I've spent my time catching up on Game of Thrones and Twin Peaks, which is just getting more and more bizarre. I'm enjoying it, but the pacing is just very weird. It makes you feel funny. Last TV stuff, we'll bounce right over to Netflix,
bro.
And then
that's what happens after Netflix and chill, son.
Netflix Stranger Things trailer did drop at San Diego Comic-Con. That gave me bigger goosebumps than any of the Hollywood blockbuster trailers. Have you watched the trailer for that?
I feel like I'm such a fuddy-duddy because I keep shaking my head at everything today. I don't watch trailers. If I'll give you the short version. Do you remember the movie Orange County with Jack Black?
Yes.
Okay, well, I had a friend whose mother was with somebody that worked at the local Regal Cinema, so I got into the majority of movies for free because that's what they would do. They dropped the kids off there, and I was one of them. Anyways, they had a trailer for Orange County, and it was super hysterical. I went to see the movie, and they cut out all those parts in the trailer. They weren't in the movie. So from now on, I won't watch a trailer, usually.
That's been a trend. I know James Gunn said he tries to use, the guy that does Guardians of the Galaxy, he tries to only use things from the first half hour of the movie in the trailer so it doesn't spoil anything. But boy, did he do the opposite of that with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know. Some of the friends at the Art Jam table do not watch the trailers. They totally want to be surprised. Mm-hmm. I'm a yin and a yang. I didn't like to watch it on mobile. I don't want to see it smalls, but then I'd be behind. Everybody'd be talking about it. I wouldn't have a chance. So I try to watch them at home. And it doesn't take anything away, because if I see the trailer again in the theater, I get goosebumps, and then when I see the movie, I'm excited. There's few things that I will not. I am on board. I won't see the trailer because I just don't want anything to change my effect. But other than that, I try to draw it out as much as I can and enjoy the movie and just not be too judgmental on the trailers. But yes, definitely comedies I'm very critical of, very, very critical of, and that's one of the reasons.
What's strange, too, is it seems like with a lot of comedies, too, the really hysterical things you see that get cut out usually end up in a unrated cut. And I think Anchorman's guilty of that for both movies, I want to say. But I own both the unrated cuts, so I don't have to worry about it. Still, please don't tease me. It's not nice.
Not nice. We have also Netflix is going to have an Umbrella Academy series in the works. I'm not going to bank too hard on that until we see footage. But,
the hell is that?
It's Gerard Way wrote it from My Chemical Romance, and it was released through Dark Horse Comics.
Oh, okay.
And it was just an interesting menagerie team of people type book. It was very enjoyable, very clever, excellent aesthetics. I don't recall the artist offhand, but a good-looking book and has a hardcore fanship. I do look forward to that if it's going to come out. But there is so much good stuff coming out, literally, physically can't keep up, which is a heck of a problem to have from back in the day where you were frothing at the mouth for anything to do with your favorite characters. Finally, Netflix, this is coming out December 22nd, I believe is the date. Will Smith has a thing called Bright coming out, which is a modern-day orcs, elves, fairies type story. So it's modern police, cars, buildings with all these mythical creatures. Could be great, could be all right. Netflix has been doing good stuff, and Will Smith doesn't usually take garbage on, so I'm going to look forward to that. We'll see what happens. Will Smith, Bright, coming in December. Stranger Things coming up soon. Can't wait. Anything I missed on the TV front?
I am excited about the Will Smith show.
Are you caught up on your Game of Thrones?
No. Well, no. I still got to finish season 6 and season 7. I'm not paying for HBO, so I don't care. I'll just wait.
Yeah.
Really don't care.
And no holds barred.
I'll just unfollow you if you post crap. If I just see the letter G in your status, I unfollow you. So go ahead.
I don't post any spoilers. But people do. I usually Mondays, Tuesdays, I stay off, especially Mondays, because I don't want my wrestling pay-per-view spoilers. Some people really know how to lay it in there first thing and not give you any heads up that they're even talking about wrestling.
I definitely do that to you all the time.
And
definitely guilty.
And some people don't consider what a spoiler is. To me, a spoiler is anything that changes your interpretation of watching the movie, the show, whatever it is. So even if you're not giving me the ending, if you're like, holy crap, so-and-so has this attitude through the whole movie. Now that's all I can focus on. That's all I can think about. So that changes my perception of the movie. Or if people don't consider comedy bits too, they'll give away something that was a build-up to a comedy bit, and so now the whole movie you're watching is build-up, and the comedy payoff isn't there for you anymore. So don't spoil anything. Just say it was good, it was bad, it's for this type of fan. Blah.
I will guarantee you that at 11:05 every Sunday that there's a pay-per-view, I will comment on it because I am a jerk.
I do have, aside from my Twitter, at Comics Pete, I do have a separate one, at Bismarck Pete, BizmarkPete. I only use that for pay-per-view. So I announce on my Facebooks, and I'm like, hey, got to be talking about the pay-per-view on at Bismarck Pete over to Twitter, so you can tune in there and get my 2 cents worth. And there you have it. So if you're just a wrestling fan, throw that on your mobile device, and you can see what I'm thinking about. Movies. At San Diego Comic-Con, back to Tom McFarlane. He's coming up 2 more times. He has announced that his big 5 o'clock announcement on Friday was that Blumhouse is producing a new Spawn movie. Blumhouse has been cranking out the suspense, thriller, terror type movies, been doing a great job with them. They're responsible for making a new Spawn, which Todd was looking to get to be more of a horror type film. And Tom McFarlane himself, this is the scary part, he's going to be writing it and directing it. He's been writing the book, that's fine. How well that'll translate to Hollywood, I don't know. And directing, that's a big role to take on. I'm sure there's going to be staff there to help him out with that.
I like the other movie. Is that not well received?
It was. No, people still like it. It does well, but they were looking for the
never read the comic, but I definitely
newer, crazier version. So that's it. It's going to be darker. Tom McFarlane's going to be helming it, soup to nuts. Going to be very interesting. I mean, I've got faith. He did good with the toys. He did good with his comic. He's a clever, creative guy. A new Ghostbusters coming out in 2019. So there you go. There was talks of that being squashed, but the interest is still there. People are still talking about it. Toys are still selling hot. In previews last month, they just solicited some Play-Doh sets, and it's working. It's working, folks. You got to keep that franchise going.
I love the new Ghostbusters, and I was one of the people that was like, "Oh, how dare you!"
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it homaged the old film well.
One small detail that would have been nice, that would have made the film, I think, acceptable. I mean, I love it now, and I've watched it a bunch of times, but I don't think it would have been that difficult to give them all tie-ins to the original characters. That way people would understand why now there's
a second generation specifically.
But I get it. It's its own thing. It's its own universe. It's separate. But maybe they'll bump into each other someday. Who knows?
And again, I thought the homages were all good. None of them were too, like, hey, this was stupid in the old movies, but we're making it cool, because that drives me nuts. Transformers did it. Lots of movies do it. It was all proper homages. It was like, hey, this is something you might recognize if you were a fan of the old ones. Captain Marvel movie, which is going to be the female Captain Marvel that is currently hot in the Marvel Universe. She's got a movie coming out at some point. They just announced that it's going to be taking place in the 90s. I don't see how that's a big thrill. The 90s isn't quite as recognizable as the 80s. It's, I don't know. So it's taking place before now, before Infinity War, before the Avengers, I suppose. So why wouldn't you have heard about her in the Avengers? Who knows? Maybe they'll tie it in the same way that they explain why you don't hear about the characters from Star Wars Rogue One and the new movies. Poor fellas. And then they released posters. A new poster for Thor, a new poster for Black Panther. You can see those online. The Thor poster is pretty cool, but there's some weird proportions on the lady's face there. I'll let you take a look at that. And trailers dropped for Justice League. You don't watch the trailers? I watched a couple right before the show. I tried to watch them all, but it was hours and hours worth. Tons of movie trailers.
Give me a Green Lantern. Give me a Green Lantern. Why can't I have a Green Lantern? Give me a Green Lantern.
He's one of my favorites, but let me tell you. So, there might be a Green Lantern. We don't know. We don't know. Plug your ears. Earmuffs. The big question, Justice League trailers. Plug your ears if you don't want to know about the trailer either.
Wait, what?
Nope.
Oh.
The trailer they talk about. The big question is who's Alfred talking to at the end? Superman, Green Lantern, could be anybody. I think it's neither. I'm going to do some research and come up with my best guess, and I'm not going to share that with you. So Justice League, go ahead. Justice League trailer dropped. It hit pretty hard. It was way better than first Justice League trailer. It actually got me pumped up to see the movies. There was a new Thor trailer, did not get to watch, and there was a new Avengers teaser trailer for the Infinity War. It just looked like a badly cartoon Thanos with Destro doing a narration over it, so I didn't get it. But I was watching handheld cam stuff. I didn't see the official release of it. So, and he is not into that, so he obviously also hasn't. But that is more of the trailers. Jump onto old YouTube, other channels there, and you can find those out, huh? Toys. Lots of toy stuff. This might be some of it new to you. Do you want to start off? Well, you know what? I'll get into WWE toys at the end. So let's go back to Todd McFarlane first. Todd McFarlane's toy lines. He's got a Goblin King figure. That looks awesome coming out. Goblin King, of course, David Bowie from Labyrinth. And you don't have to pick your favorite captain. There is a Picard and a Kirk figure coming out from McFarlane Toys, as well as a One Punch figure. In the interesting news, have you heard this or not, muscle figures?
Well, I used to collect those.
There is I did too. I regrettably sold them in a garage sale because I dig them. There is a bunch of new muscle figures coming out, and there is going to be a WWE Legends line, which I saw Sergeant Slaughter in there, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Ted DiBiase, Roddy Piper, the classic Macho Man with the headband, robe, and goggles, and Junkyard Dog. There's going to also be Iron Maiden muscles and Robotech muscles, which is bizarre.
Just give me the old
Bizarre
ones.
mix match.
Give me some Kamiko Man up in this piece, huh?
That's what I want. I will say as a kid, though, I used them as wrestlers, and some of the shapes of those figures were difficult to deal with. You had like a guy built like a top and a brick guy.
Show was awesome.
Had no arms, tough to do wrestling holds. And wrestling figures. They showed some, a lot of the same figures, repaints of Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, things like that. Noteworthy to me was a really good-looking Alexis Lurie figure, D'Lo Brown with his vest on, Ken Shamrock, a Goldberg the Gray, which was a good-looking Goldberg figure with his new gray beard. And then there was prototype sculpt model digital renderings, no physical copies of Jack Gallagher, Ember Moon, Scotty 2 Hottie, and the tag team Sheamus and Cesaro figures with the tearaway shirts.
Those were really hard to tell with the renders with Cesaro. I had no idea who it was at first.
And yeah, it didn't look good on the render. I'm curious. I mean, there's a dozen Cesaro figures. I don't know if they needed to re-render the whole figure. They probably could have just got away with that. But it's obviously looks like it's going to be a deluxe, probably not a 2-pack. So you probably have to buy those independently and deluxe. I'm just hoping they don't take the titles away, have them start feuding with each other, and they start wearing pink tutus just in time for you to buy the figure with the cool Rip Boy kilts. hopefully the storyline keeps going. I remember that was frustrating for me with the Dusty Rhodes kid there. Cody Rhodes. He had all these great gimmicks, and then as soon as the figure would come out with that great gimmick, he was on to a new one. So the mustache figure comes out, no more mustache, you had the faceplate. Faceplate figure comes out, no more faceplate, you Stardust, whatever the order goes. Disappointing to me. They know what's in the works. Try to coordinate the gimmicks a little bit to go with it. Same thing, Marvel, you and your comics, coordinate. You wait till the movie comes out, and then you kind of jump on the bandwagon, and you reboot something to suit the movies, or you're reworking it at that point. But you could, I think, do a little better tie-in. I think as the writers of the book, you know when the movie's going to drop, you know when the fanship's going to be hot. I think you could build towards that so they can kind of bounce off each other at that moment, the same way they do with the movies and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. Coordinate that a little bit better. And the mentioned last week, the fashion dolls, they looked great.
They're setting the figure world ablaze. People are, as we said before, pretty irritated about it, which I think is funny because a lot of people like to collect the actual Diva figures, and some men only collect the Diva figures, which I also find interesting. Not judging, just interesting to me. And I hope it brings in a whole new audience of people and reaffirms like the little girls out there and maybe adult girls that want to collect something that's more suited to what they already collect. And Mattel's, they're the doll king, they're the Barbie king. Another big topic at San Diego was for some of the basics for the next series. One of the series is coming out. They removed articulation here, like it's gone. Like you can normally the swivel and the up and the shoulders gone, and you can still move the. We don't know if you can twist or not the actual. Joint right here, because that makes more sense because you can actually do that. So if that's the case, I'm not going to be as bothered depending on how the arms actually look. Other people are freaking out because that's going to be gone. Other people are freaking out because this is the third change in arms they've made. They have updated elbow joints, which some people are attributing towards the debut of the Revival's a 2-pack, but that wasn't the case. I believe it appeared on a Vince McMahon Austin 2-pack before that for the beefier arms. So that was another thing. And one figure you did miss, and I'm very excited about, is the Kurt Angle, which looks like it's going to be an entrance grade. Another thing, the wrestling figure community is extremely negative. I don't think it's just limited to the wrestling figure community, but there's just a lot of complaining, a lot of upset about the price points, and I know I appreciate all Mattel does to stay within the $10 range for basics and $20 range for elites. If it went up to $25 and $15, I don't think I'd be that bothered by it. But just remember, you have no idea what it's like to run a company. Well, maybe some of you do, but the majority of you that complain about wrestling figures probably have no idea what goes into what they're doing, or how to make things better, or how to make things last. And they don't make the figures for you to take apart. So if you're mad at the shoulder joints going away because you can't swap arms, you're not supposed to. That's not what they're made for. They made a line like that, and if you don't like it, then don't buy it. I don't know what to tell you. So I collect figures. I don't do customs. I don't do fix-ups or anything like that. I don't want to look at my collection and have it be a nightmare of swap parts that look terrible. Well, that's just me.
I appreciate the craftsmanship and the artwork that people put into customs. I think it's great that there's a market out there for that.
Pretty ugly.
Mine would be.
Mine would be horrible.
You would think being an artist that I would be able to get away with it, but nope, mine would look like a hot mess. It'd look like Sid from Toy Story stuff. It wouldn't work for me. Also, my handwriting's terrible, but that's aside the point. Nope, it's for me. I like to buy them as they are. Do very little with the customization. And maybe it's an OCD thing. I would love to get a Cody Rhodes figure, put him in his American Nightmare apparel that he's running for New Japan, but just doesn't work for me, man. It's just something in the mental stimulation. Can't cross things.
Some of the people, what really I love to watch is when somebody, like when AJ Styles first came into WWE and people had to make customs and they ripped apart their figures, and it seemed like Seth Rollins was now serving a dual purpose as an AJ Styles, and then Mattel, oh my god, announced they're going to make a Mattel, and you have this really ugly looking figure that you're proud of. Good for you. Good for you.
And now you've destroyed how much money worth of figures to just be able to buy a new AJ Styles figure.
Ugly. Or when they sell them on eBay for $200, I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah.
No
New
way.
guys, I don't see that. Shockwave the Robot, in his robot lair, he's got a collection of WrestleCrap figures, which is guys you're probably never going to see figures of. You did in the old Legends, you probably won't in the new ones. You're going to see some odd characters, like there's a Berserker coming out from the new Deluxe series. That's fantastic. But, no gobbledygookers and things like that.
The elite figure of him is already out.
So, no gobbledygookers. A lot of guys
Not
are just
yet.
never going to see the light of day.
They did make a prototype, and they showed it at Toy Fair. I want to say in probably the first year that Mattel had the license.
I'll bring it on.
Disappeared. It's never been seen again. If I won the lottery, I would buy that from Mattel, rub it in all your faces, and he would be the world champion. Forever.
The Universal Ever Champion. And then there's the Isaac Yankum, which is one you wouldn't figure was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Feedback from Kenny Casanova is he didn't have enough focus on his gnarled teeth, which is kind of a trademark to the character. Did you have something you mentioned about that earlier, or am I just hallucinating it?
I just didn't like it. I'm not that familiar with the character to begin with. I don't know. I guess I don't care about their teeth necessarily, but it just seems like.
Have you seen the vignettes?
No, I have, like a long time ago. But I mean, you're expecting a lot of a $20 figure if you want them to do that on top of everything else. But the figure doesn't have a lot of detail to begin with, so that was one I could easily pass on.
Probably more than $20 exclusive, but
no, it's on ToysRUs.com.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
$20.
For Isaac Yankum?
Yep.
From the exclusive?
Yep.
I'm
pretty sure it's $20.
All right. Well, if that's the case, everybody should have one. That's
no, don't.
One of the most
It's
pivotal
just clean
characters
as
in
jeans.
WWE history.
Save your money. Hey, there you go. Make a custom. Go for it.
Your custom Kane and Jeans figure. I think that's about it for me. There's a lot of neat stuff, a lot to look at. I was on Twitter all weekend, just hitting those hashtags, trying to find out what I could for you folks. So there's some of what is coming up. The only problem I have, and I apologize, is I don't have timelines for this stuff because a lot of times you don't get it. We're just getting a peek and a preview. It's photos of booths. So it's more looking at the crystal ball now to see kind of things that are out there, some that have already come out. But it'll give you a little bit of a heads up. If you got that Comic-Con bug, if you've been checking out the footage of San Diego Comic-Con and you want to attend an event yourself out on the East Coast, you do have New York City Comic-Con is coming up October. Huge. It is elbow to elbow. It is packed. There's like television shows, things like that have big stellar displays, but be prepared to be hungry, to wait in line a long time. It's a lot of work. Is it worth going? Absolutely, at least once in your life. But if you just want to get that bug out and see some cosplay, meet some peoples, be surrounded by like-minded nerds, and get a little pop culture intake, then there's a couple coming up. Let me see these dates. Here on the East Coast, you can get your Comic-Con on August 11th through 13th in Boston. Of course, it's beautiful being out in Boston, so that's something cool. But that comic book convention has a fair amount of comic book stuff, a good amount of creators, and is very celebrity-driven, though. You're going to see a good amount of celebrities there and have the opportunity for photo ops. The photo ops are going to cost you, be warned, and a lot of the people there will just have the celebrity photo ops. It won't be the booth selfies that you can do with them. So look into that before you buy your tickets. And my personal favorite, August 18th to 20th, is Terrificon. I will be there, so if you can come to Terrificon, Mohegan Sun, Connecticut, beautiful casino, nice place. And again, I will be there. Russ from RB Pop Sidekick Book is going to be there. Other people from Art Jambi and Nicole with her horror anthology. You're going to have the Gnaw creators of Jennifer and Ryan are going to be there. So all the creators from the Art Jam table, the Catatonic Studios profile page, check them out. See us all there. That promoter, Mitch, does the best job at putting stuff together. By far my favorite convention. There's room. There's plenty of things to do. Plenty of top-notch creators. Plenty of celebrities that you can go up, pay a couple bucks, get your selfies with, get autographs from. Just great golden opportunities. They don't put up a curtain and hide everything from you. It's all right there on the floor. There's lots of spectacle, lots of things to do that are included with the price, and then the things you can pay extra for. Real worth it con. So that's 18th to 20th, Terrificon at Mohegan Sun. The week before that is Boston. And next month, I'll get into that later. There's some stuff coming to Central New York and things southbound. But I'll talk about that on another episode as we get closer to those dates. Anything else? else of note, mister?
Nope.
That's it. There's your glut of San Diego information. I don't know what we're going to talk about next time. We'll just keep scouring the interwebs for what we think is going to be important to you. So get out there, do what you love, take that next step. I'm at Comics Pete on Twitter, catatomicstudios.com, atomic like the bomb, studios.com.
I am Chad, also known as Optimus Chad. 518 on Twitter. Look up Recording Underwater on Google, Recording Underwater Bandcamp, and you can find some of my music and some of the other people I work with music.
Fantastic. And his music is what brings us into the show and will now take us out of the show. Does anybody want some peanuts? Do you want some peanuts? Is that what I'm supposed to say? Peanuts? Was it peanuts?
Hey, peanuts.
That's a single.
Okay.
He's never seen it, folks. That's why there was a screw-up opening intro. He's taking it home. He's watching it. And next week he can talk about it.
Anybody want some peanuts? Right?
Anybody want a peanut?
Just one?
Yeah. I can't tell you about it because it's a spoiler.